No blink, it's boying. Another food for thought, and is I was thinking about, because today was, although it was a really good day at work, it was really quiet. It was really like calm because yesterday we were off, so today was our first day, and I feel like the guys they weren't in it. They were more calm. They were more silent, right? So when they're silent, I do two things. I listen to music, or I think. And good for us, my music turned off because the battery was dead. Amazing for me, it got me to thinking and make a video. And the subject I want to talk about is the FOMO, which is fear of missing out versus fear of aging, right? Um, Again, everything I'm saying in this video is my opinion, right? Everything I'm saying on this channel is my opinion. I don't personally, I don't know shit. I might look like I know shit, but I don't know shit about life. Okay, trust me. Fear for me as a kid, and I talked to a lot of my friends about it. And as a kid, we always want to explore, we want to live. As a teen, there's some event, especially with social media, with Facebook and Instagram, and you see all those people going on trips. You see all those people being in a relationship, having a dog, having a car, having a house. You have the fear of missing out. You have the fear of if you're not living those same thing, you'll miss out on the feeling they're feeling. If they're happy, then doing this will make you happy. But everybody can fake a picture, right? Everybody can fake a picture. And that fake happiness, you should have this fear of missing out. And you put yourself in a situation where you have this unrealistic attempt. And you have this expectation, right? Unrealistic expectation. And you're like, well, I don't want to be missing out, but you can't live everything. You have to live your life, and most of the time, life is gonna happen around you, and you're just a part of it. You're like a cog in the system, right? You're a cog in the system, so it doesn't matter what you try to do. The system around you. For example, I'm thinking about somebody that goes into resorts, like a super touristic resorts. Well, yeah, you're in a different country, but the experience has been altered for you to feel at home. Because yes, you're in the country, but they want you to feel at home, because if you feel at home, you won't complain. You feel at home, you'll come back, right? So the altered experience, right? That's why some people they prefer to travel backpack, and when they travel backpack, you don't go back, right? I don't think that's the expression. I think there's something about black. Yeah, I can't think of anything, right? And yeah, and you got the fear of aging. So we just talked about a fear of missing out as a younger person, as a person with more time, as a person with less reachability. For example, if you're a father, if you're a mother, if you have mortgage, if you have car payment, you understand that these things are gonna respectively are gonna you have an excuse to miss out, right? So the fear of missing out become, well, I have shit to do, I have priorities. So that fear of missing out is slowly going away. It's being replaced by a very a to me to for me I think it's worse. The fear of aging, and the fear of aging is being too old to do something. Being too old, for example, socially, we're gonna say, oh, 25 to 30 is the perfect time to have kids, right? Some people they have 40, and socially they're like, oh, well, you're a bit old to have kids. Oh my god, did you have a kid at your age, right? It's also those social, those societal uh, attend or norms, right? And they're putting those norms, and fear of aging is, am I gonna be too old? Am I getting too old? Am I gonna be healthy? How long do I have left? So you see the fear of missing out, right? We spend so much time being afraid. Oh, this is the exact point. This is the exact point I'm trying to make. We spend so much time being afraid of missing that fear is becoming a constant part of our life, right? So when the brain, when you don't have the fear of missing out, because again, you have a car, you have kids, you have a puppy, right? A kitten, those fears, your brain not being afraid, it's like something is wrong. Your brain becomes used to feeling the feeling of fear, and because you're not feeling it, your brain subconsciously is going to be replacing it with something. So fear is going to be changing shape, right? And it's amazing. It's an amazing thing because, and this is the way brain work. This is the way human work, right? And if we can produce that with fear, if we can, if we can get the brain used to fear and used to if there's no fear, if there's no there's not that uncomfortability, your brain's gonna make yourself uncomfortable, right? So if we can produce that with fear, can we reproduce that with love, with happiness, with kindness, some positive? Because fear in itself, well, it depends. Would you call fear a negative emotion, or you would call it a building? Because if you don't have a construct emotion, but if you don't have fear in itself, then you're not gonna get. I said in the video previously, if you don't get pushed, you're never gonna be know what it feels like to be pushed. If you don't have fear, the second you have fear, you're gonna go crazy because you're like, what is going on, right? So I think we need to live through a cycle of emotion. That way, when this emotion comes, we're sort of used to it, or we're supposed to we're used to, like, oh, this is what's going on. I can identify it. And it's crazy to me that she has to feel all of those emotions and constant. That way, just when it happens, you're ready for it. So we talked about the fear of missing out versus the fear of aging, and I did say, um, for me, fear of aging was a bit scarier, but I'm not trying to say that fear of missing out is as isn't as scary. There's some people who are having anxiety because they haven't feel something, right? And I feel like before, looking at your neighbors, you were able to say, well, he has a red bike, I want a red bike, right? But looking at social media and looking at and I'm not talking, I'm going to talk about especially women, looking at unrealistic beauty standards, right? With Photoshop pictures, and you're like, holy shit, I don't feel good in my skin. Um, I feel like there's a constant fear that wasn't there before. So the world is evolving, and it's fun to see the emotion are evolving because we had a fear way back. We way back. I'm talking medieval time about being attacked by another nation. We had in the World War II. We're afraid to get attacked. We were talking in prehistorical age when there's a lot of like wild beasts. We're talking about in a country where there's a lot of crimes. Right? They're all fears, and the world is evolving, and those fears are evolving too. So I think it's super cool that we're getting because at the end of the day, the world's gonna change, no matter what. We need to change too, because if we can adapt, we can surpass, and if we can't adapt, we'll get surclassed. So again, the suplex versus surplex. Love you guys. Peace.